go. Yes, sir. You did. Hee-haw! How slow you reel, and that's going to be a measurer. Uh-oh. All right, welcome back, Lube Tubers. As you can see, we're in the old Lund today in the 97 Outfitter. It is the last day of walleye season here in Ontario. It's April 14th. I just launched the boat on Lake of the Woods. There's ice all around me. Some years you get lucky and you can sneak out before the season closes and get some open water walleye in. The boss wants fish tacos tonight, so we're gonna go run down some walleye. Maybe we'll see a few smallmouth, who knows. This is not a regular time of year. The regular walleye rules on Lake of the Woods don't really apply. Hopefully I can show you a couple new ways to catch them, or you know, just how to target them in this super cold water period. But we're gonna rip around first and just see where we can get to. It's always a challenge with the wind and the current and the air. You never really know what to expect, and it's blowing right now, so whatever I find now is gonna change in the next hour. We'll go for a tour, see how far we can get, and try to pluck a few Waldos. We'll see you out there. All right, I'm looking at the Yacht Club stretch here. There's a big sheet here. It's probably not going to last long. It's got the north wind pounding right on it, so I'd give this, I mean, by the time this video comes out, it'll either be tomorrow or the next day probably. That'll be gone. Usually you have to go weaseling through some channels and current to get around this, so no surprise here. All right, we're on the other side of that stretch I mentioned. Ice is bunched up a little bit here from the north wind, but the 97's born for this. Her rivets will hold strong. It's gonna get real loud right now. Soothing. You know that bucket of old transducers you have in your garage that you're never gonna use again? Save them for this kind of stuff. It ain't friendly to them. Comes some sporting stuff. We're in Lake Sin. Looks like, I'm looking at Q8 and channel right now. This is the high risk part because that whole chunk could move in. I've been trapped before guiding on Shoal Lake by huge sheets of ice where you're stuck for a while. You know, it's not a great feeling, but I'm looking at this ice and it's pretty soft. Like, that's not gonna last long. So I think as it comes in, it's just gonna keep beating itself up against this solid stuff, and I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I'm excited now because I'm looking at Q8 and channel, which is kind of the gateway to the rest of the lake. So we'll see what we can get into here. All right, so we made it a pretty good ways. Had to cut a few channels, but no big deal. This is always how it is this time of year. Where you want to get is usually right alongside of the sheet of ice. And usually that's because that's where the current breaks. So, you know, you think it's just bad luck that that's where you end up, but I'm gonna be fishing from like 30 to, there's no limit to how deep they'll go right now. She's pretty much catch and keep only. I don't ever catch big ones doing this. We might go try to catch some big ones in a minute, but she's meat first. So we'll get to work here and see if we can show you a couple. So I'm just fishing these channels that have deep water in the middle. There's obviously current in them, and they're just using the move. But you never really know where they're going to be on them, and it's really hard to graph them. So, all right, so I do have some meat on board, but as I putt around here, I'm just going to show you what I'm running. I've got a little Crush City Suspect on here. This is a 3/8 Smeltinator. This is the custom series red line hook. That's Bruce's minnow. Paint job there. You don't want to match it up too pretty. I like a little flare for walleyes, a little bit of color, unless they're straight eating, you know, targeting on Cisco's or smelt or something, but gotta sass it up a little. I'm just cruising around on 2D here, nothing fancy yet. I do have the scope. I probably am gonna drop it, but we'll just see if we can get around them quick here. This is probably the hardest time of year to catch walleyes on Lake of the Woods. Well, not probably, it is. So sometimes you have to reach for the meat, but we'll see if we can get away without. I haven't looked at just straight 2D in a while, so we'll see here. See how set up she is after plunking it on all them icebergs. Should be able to pick up the old jig. Or not. Down there. Like I said, we're just 2D in it. That might be one there. Back to 2D, so it's all about interpretation. I'm just gonna drop this little Suspect Smeltinator down through them and drag it through the bottom. I don't anticipate them coming too far off the bottom to whack it. You never know. Okay, I'm over 2D already. Like I said, I did bring a scope, so I just kept her in the ice bundle, and this is what I do if I need to transfer it to my little boat. I just keep a mount on there, and I don't worry about the cable. You just kind of keep an eye on it. You got to be a little more careful. But just gonna drop that joker down. Kick her forward. Turn that guy on. And we'll let out some cable here to the back. Why not? Just got her in the sports headquarters bundle with the little Powerhouse 16 volt 18 amp beauty, and we can just sit it. Oh, it should be better than that, but I've never seen that message before. Chances that's gonna fall, I'd say about 100. 100p. So right now with this trolling motor up there and the graph back here, you can see I've got it the back range set, so it's 20 feet back, so it's a 17-foot boat. It should be right around where I am. I'll get this little back portion, and then I could see, you know, it'd be 80 some feet in front of that. So you just kind of have to move your focus from the zero way back to where you are if you want to see what's right under you. All right, enough of the tiller throwback. I'm getting on the bow. Overcasting at him. Oh, you bugger. That was her first bite. Here comes another boat. Go somewhere else. Huh? That one chasing me down? There we go. Of course, right as the other boat pulls up. Come on, baby. Yes, sir. Little suspect schnook meter. Oh, right as the other boat comes pulling up to check the ice. Dead well. No releasing out here. This stuff's TPE, so you usually don't lose your tails, but that was an old one. Cast the edge though, everything just sinks. Might have to grab something heavier. Alright, got the big clacker on. This one's like a 3/8. Usually use the quarter for ice fishing, but it's that one-off red line drop shot hook. Got a little livey here. Just gonna pin that back up through the dorsal. Little rattle on there in case I got to call them in a little bit. And this should be a little more streamlined to get down there, and then I can just crawl it. The problem is a lot of them are just right on the inside of this, like always. Yeah, one's got it already. Yes, sir. Clack daddy. You can call them a couple feet out there. You won't be able to see them on the scope just because it's so deep and they're so tight to bottom. Oh, percho. Well, put a little deep for releasing there, mister, so you're meeting the grease. Eater. Chew, chew, chew. Good one. Hopefully not too good for the size rigs. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I gotta measure them now all in the woods. Yeah, he's nowhere close. 17 is the cutoff. I'm saying good. There we go. It's got taco written all over. That little 610 medium 13 prototype. Medium light. It's a nice clacking pole, I'll tell you that. City 1 feet. This thing will be dead before it hits the surface. Doesn't matter how slow you reel, and that's going to be a measurer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, see? 17¼ inches. I just caught it in 60 feet. Now I got to throw it back. He doesn't look bad, like his eyes aren't bulged. That mouth isn't bulged. Let's see here. I hate this. Get him as low as he can. I mean, it swam away, but I don't know what its chances of survival are. Tell me how that's helping the fishery. Having to throw those back. That's the new reg this year. You used to be able to keep 1 over 18. Now it's none over 17, which is fine, but you gotta understand on Lake of the Woods, a lot of the fish just live deep, and I'm not just gonna say I'm just gonna skip walleye fishing on the last day of the year because they're deep. I'm still gonna go. But yeah, that sucks. Not because I'm like, oh no, I can't keep it, but I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to kill one for no reason. So now I'll be killing 5 walleye today, unless I just keep 3 and balance it out. That's just the last day of the season. I left the last spot. She was super windy there, and another boat rolled up, which is fine. It's part of it when there's limited water, but not that fun to loop tube around. So I left with 2 keepers because I want to explore around a little bit. And obviously you got to keep what you catch pretty much when you're fishing this deep, so we'll see if it pays off. I'm looking out at almost at the Manitou right now, and you know, there's ice is weaving. It's not going to last long out there, but I can't really get too far right now, so I should put the drone up soon and get like a good look at it. I think I will, but stand by. Just gonna drop the old meat shot down on the tiller and see if we can pluck a few more. Stay right there, sweetheart. I'll be down there in half an hour to 45 minutes. Oh, no way! I'm gonna equate this to an ice fishing dead stick. I'd say I'm right fired up to go bass fishing, but it's probably not going to be any more fun than this. Just pain and deep. It doesn't take long once the ice goes for things to start moving, but right now it's pretty much just having a boat in the winter that can't go anywhere good. Oh, I got a bite. All you got to do is talk shit about the spot. I'll let them chew on it for half hour. We're on, Ron. Woo! My 2-piecer. Got to complete it sitting. What is it? You did. Hee-haw! That's what I'm talking about. That's the first one that threw up the old popsicle. But that's our limit. That's a nice little 15-incher. No complaints here. Even though I was just complaining about fishing in the boat and when I could be ice fishing, which I'll never complain about again. And yeah, we're gonna go tour the rest of the lake. If I don't see anything cool or catch any more fish, then consider this the end of the video. Thanks for watching, like, sub, and all that stuff. We may keep rolling, who knows? Look at the bottom bar. If there's more time, more video. Thanks, bud. You're gonna taco just fine. My old track goes up this way. That's gone. Let's see here. There's a boat on the other side of this that Obviously didn't want to chance it. Yeah. Don't want to beach on it. Also don't want to sleep out here. Well, I made her back, got stuck for a little while there. Wasn't that bad. I just ran back and forth and jumped up and down. I did put the drone up and it decided to get a mind of its own and flew away on me. And of course I can't go get it because it went to, well, who knows where. It still could be airborne, but I was jumping up and down and my GoPro battery flew out too. And yeah, got home a little late and, you know, really got to ask yourselves, is it worth it? Yup.